In the dead of night, a bone-chilling wail cuts through the silence. Those who hear it know their time has come. What if I told you there's a creature whose cry serves as death's personal invitation? A being so terrifying that entire bloodlines have feared her voice for over 1,000 years. The Banshee isn't just some ghost story your grandmother whispered about. She's a death herald whose wail has been documented across Ireland for centuries, and her story might make you think twice about that strange sound you heard last night. If you want to learn more about the world's most chilling supernatural beings, hit that subscribe button now. Picture this. It's 1847 in County Cork, Ireland. Margaret O'Brien sits by her dying father's bedside, holding his weathered hand as his breathing grows shallow. The wind outside howls against their small stone cottage, but something else cuts through the storm. A sound so haunting, so filled with grief, that Margaret's blood turns to ice. It starts low, almost like sobbing, then rises to a shriek that seems to pierce through her very soul. Her father's eyes flutter open one last time, and he whispers with his final breath, "She's come for me, child." The Banshee has come. That scream belonged to the Banshee, Ireland's most feared supernatural being. Her name comes from the Irish Banshee, which literally means woman of the fairy mounds, or woman of the other world. But don't let the fairy connection fool you. This isn't some sparkly creature from children's books. The Banshee is death's messenger, and her appearance signals that someone in your family is about to cross over to the other side. The Banshee doesn't look like your typical movie monster. Descriptions vary, but most accounts paint her as a woman whose appearance reflects the weight of countless deaths she's witnessed. Sometimes she appears as a young maiden with long flowing hair that she combs while weeping by a river. Other times, she's an elderly crone with wild, unkempt hair and clothes that seem to be made of mist itself. Her eyes are always red from eternal crying, and her face bears the sorrow of every soul she's ever mourned. But it's not her appearance that strikes fear into hearts. It's her voice. The Banshee's wail is unlike any sound on earth. Those who've heard it describe it as the most heartbreaking cry imaginable, mixing human grief with something otherworldly. It starts as gentle weeping, the kind of soft sobs you might hear at a funeral. Then it builds, growing louder and more intense, until it becomes a full-throated scream that seems to shake the very foundations of reality. The wail doesn't just announce death. It carries within it the pain of every loss, every goodbye, every moment of grief that family has ever experienced. Some say you can hear the voices of all your ancestors in that cry, calling out across generations. Others claim the wail contains a preview of the sorrow your family will feel when their loved one passes. Either way, hearing it changes you forever. What makes the Banshee truly terrifying is her accuracy. She doesn't appear randomly or waste her time on false alarms. When the Banshee chooses to visit your family, someone is definitely going to die, usually within days, sometimes within hours. She's been linked to specific Irish families for generations, becoming almost like a supernatural family member, who only shows up for the worst possible occasions. The O'Briens, O'Neills, O'Gradys, Kavanaghs, and O'Connors are among the families traditionally associated with Banshee visitations. These bloodlines have passed down stories of her appearances for centuries, creating detailed family records of when she appeared and who died shortly after. It's like having a genealogy chart that includes death omens. Here's where things get really interesting. The Banshee doesn't just appear to anyone. She has rules, a supernatural code of conduct that she follows religiously. First, she only appears to families of pure Irish descent, particularly those with ancient Gaelic bloodlines. Second, she typically only wails for family members who are dying of natural causes or illness, not accidents or violence. Third, she seems to have a special connection to families who've experienced great tragedy, or who have strong ties to Irish folklore and tradition. But here's the challenge that has puzzled researchers and believers for centuries. How do you prove something that appears in moments of intense grief and stress? How do you separate fact from the desperate human need to find meaning in loss? Skeptics argue that the Banshee is just a way for people to cope with sudden death, a cultural explanation for the unexplainable. They point out that grieving people often hear sounds that aren't there, or see things that don't exist. Yet the stories persist with remarkable consistency. Account after account describes the same chilling wail, the same sense of impending doom, the same accurate prediction of death. Even in modern times, with all our scientific understanding, reports of Banshee encounters continue to surface across Ireland and in Irish communities around the world. Take the case of Sean Murphy in Dublin, 1982. A practical man, an engineer who dealt in facts and figures. He was working late one evening when he heard what he described as the saddest sound I've ever heard in my life, coming from outside his apartment. When he looked out, he saw a figure in white by the building's entrance, her long hair covering her face as she wept. The sound grew louder, becoming a wail that made his teeth ache. The next morning, he received a call that his grandmother in Galway had passed away peacefully in her sleep at the exact time he'd heard the crying. The Banshee represents something deeper than just a death omen. She embodies the Irish relationship with death, grief, and the thin veil between our world and whatever lies beyond. In a culture that has faced centuries of hardship, famine, and loss, the Banshee serves as both warning and comfort. She tells families that death is coming, yes, but she also shows that their loved ones won't pass unnoticed or unmourned. Some believe the Banshee is actually the spirit of a woman who died in great sorrow, forever bound to warn others of approaching death. Others think she's a guardian spirit, a protector who alerts families so they can prepare for loss and say proper goodbyes. A few theories suggest she might be connected to the ancient Irish goddess Brigid, a deity associated with both life and death. Modern paranormal investigators have tried to study Banshee phenomena using electromagnetic field detectors, audio recording equipment, and thermal imaging cameras. While they've captured some interesting anomalies, nothing definitive has emerged. The Banshee, if she exists, seems to operate beyond our current scientific understanding. The truth about the Banshee may never be fully known, but her legend continues to shape Irish culture and spread to new generations. She represents the mystery of death, the power of family bonds, and the idea that some forces in our universe operate beyond human comprehension. Whether you believe in supernatural beings or not, the Banshee's story touches on something universally human. We all fear death. We all grieve loss. And we all wonder what happens when someone we love passes away. The Banshee gives those fears and questions a face, a voice, and a purpose. So the next time you hear an unexplained cry in the night, remember Margaret O'Brien and her father's final words. Remember that some sounds carry more weight than others, and some warnings come from places we can't begin to understand. The Banshee's wail might just be the most honest sound in existence, the raw, unfiltered voice of grief itself, reminding us that death comes for everyone, but no one has to face it completely alone. Subscribe for more stories that blur the line between legend and reality.